Good, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day out here. How are we doing? I hope we are all excited to be here. Welcome back to the Gasam Interbatch Debate Competition. This is the final session. I am the Chief Judge, Fatima Tanjai. With me are my co-judges, Hassan Saidi and Albert Gamis. Welcome, everyone. For the final session, we have two badges that will go against each other. That is badge World Cup and badge All Hands. Congratulations once again for making it this far. The topic before the House is Free Trade Agreement and the Gambia, beneficial partnerships or economic disadvantages. Badge World Cup will defend free trade agreement as the beneficial partnership for the Gambia, and Batch All Hands will disagree to say that free trade agreement is an economic disadvantage for the Gambia. Welcome everyone. And before we proceed, I would like Asan Sedi to briefly take us through the rules of the house. Asan, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fatmata. Yes, and once again, welcome to everyone. Like Fatmata said, congratulations for making it to the finals of this year's Gasam Week debates. And then we are hopeful today also we're gonna have a very productive and fruitful session like the first rounds. Yes, like Fatmata said, I will just go ahead and then read out the rules that are set for this debate today, which is the finals. Yes. Um, Today we have five rules for the debate, and then this is just to ensure that we have a fair and productive debating environment. As judges, this very important for us to ensure, just to make sure we have a thoughtful and interactive session today. So the first rule that we have is we want all the participants, including the judges, to do not to not to I mean not to interrupt fellow participants during their submissions during the debate. If you are not given the opportunity to put up your points, please do not interrupt your opponent or your fellow debater. That's rule number one. The rule number two is we kindly request you guys to everybody to kindly mute their microphones when not speaking. Please mute your microphones when you are not speaking. The third rule is please ensure you have a strong and stable internet connections to avoid disruptions. Number four is we encourage open discourse when even opinions differ. Extend the courtesy of respect to your fellow debaters, regardless of disagreement. So that's rule number four. And finally, we have number five. Please adhere to the time allocated for your submissions. When you are given 5 minutes for your constructive speech, that's 5 minutes for constructive speech, 2 minutes for rebuttals, 2 minutes for rebuttals. We kindly request you to respect these timings. So those are the rules for tonight, and then I'm sure you guys are familiar with the debate format already. So on that note, I think that's all. We can just go ahead with the debate and wishing you all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Asan, for that. That is so clear and well understood. So before we proceed, I would like to wish you all the best. And Albert, the floor is yours.
Albert, are you with us?
Hassan, I think, yeah. Welcome, Albert.
Uh, thank you, Madam Fat. Okay, without wasting much, this
Okay, Fatmata, it seems like Albert might be having some internet connections issues.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
I don't know. Okay, he's joining back.
He's joining us again.
And guys, we are sorry for that. I think Albert is having some problem with internet connections. So he will start soon as he can.
Yes.
Albert, are you here with us? Can you hear us? Albert? Okay, Fatmata, how about you just go ahead and inter intervene for Albert while he just tried the internet.
Yes.
Is
Guys,
that
we're
fine?
sorry for that. So I would like to introduce the participants of the debate competition. For Badge World Cup, we have Mr. Hassan Balde and Miss Fatumata Esjaju. Welcome to the show. And for Badge All Hands, we have Ms. Ramatulai Ann and Mr. Mama Jassi. Welcome to the show. So I think we can proceed now. So for the first affirmative, the floor is yours from Badge World Cup. Let's begin, guys.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Jan. This is really welcoming. And perhaps before going further, I would like to give just very quotations that is maybe quoted by one of the scholars, I can say, one of the economics that states, Paul Collier, and he mentioned, and I quote, for a small country with limited domestic market, the prospect of accessing larger markets through free trade can be pivotal drive in growth and development. So as a country in the Gambia, if you want maybe our economics to grow, maybe at an extent of from helping us to grow in our GDP, I get free market is very helpful in that area. So, ladies and gentlemen, without free market, a country may find it very difficult by constraint by constellial centralizations, limiting innovations, and no potentials in economic growth. So, Mr. Chairperson, panel of judges, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all persons listening. My name is Asan Balde, second year economics and management students. Okay, to start with, as an economic student, and I know firmly that this topic is very important when it comes to national development, when it comes to the growth of our economy. Certainly, a free trade agreement can indeed be beneficial in highlighting how such agreement could help the country. And I have 3 point examples for you that can explain how this thing can help a country like the Gambia. One, economic growth and diversity. We know in economic skills or in a free market skills, diversity is very important. You don't have to prioritize in one area and restrict other area. You have to be diversified. One, and that explain free trade agreement can provide Gambia with access large markets, allowing its businesses to export goods and services more easily. This expanded market can lead to increase of sales revenue, driving economic growth and promote economic integrations. So in an economic skills, when a country has partnered with investors, be it foreign, be it within the country, it helps in revenue, it helps in businesses. And we know as much market we have, businesses expands. And when businesses expands, the revenue increase. And when the revenue increase, the growth, the growth of our GDP also increase by time. And when that also increase, the people, the living condition of the people also increase. As we know, as the Gambia right now, our GDP is stagnant. The percentage that increase every year is not welcoming. And as a low-income economy, we need a GDP that propels so that development can also exceed from one place to another. And as we know, currently we are facing a lot of inflations. The cause of inflation is that we have to invite investors to come and invest in our country, explore the resources, and give employment to use, so that can help in the growth of our economy. The second point is that foreign investments and job creations. You know, foreign investment and job creation is very important. Gambia, there are thousands of youths who couldn't have a job. So through partnership, through free trade, can help youths to involve in the economic strife of our country. That explain by participating in free market agreement, the Gambia can attract foreign investment, that is FDI, as investors are more likely to invest countries that have favorable trade conditions. And for Gambia, we have those favorable conditions. Conditions like career regulations. One, efficiency in logistics. Two, you have law in barriers. Gambia can welcome this kind of investment. One, that can lead to establishment in industries, technology advancement, and job creations, which can contribute in reducing unemployment rate and uplifting the standard of living of our country. Number three, the last point of my argument. One, enhanced productivity and innovations. We all know when partnering with investors, be it cross-border, it helps to enhance productivity. One, two, innovations. And innovation in any country propels. I can give you a clear examples. United States, Mexico, and Canada, they sign a
Um,
treaty. They sign a
sorry,
treaty in partnership that helps.
sorry, Asan. But the time is up. The 5 minutes is up for the constructive space. So thank you so much for that submissions.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Asan, for that. And now we'll proceed with the first negative speaker from Badge All Hands. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Um, According to Paul Rice, he said that people are solving their problems through fair trade and not through free trade. And that's what Gambia really needs. A country with a limited natural resources that import 50% of its food products, fuel and machineries. Mr. Chairperson, panel of judges, co-debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all other protocols duly observed, free trade agreement is not a beneficial partnership for the economic development of the Gambia. My name is Mohamed Jashe, and I am a final year pharmacy student at the Faculty of Medicine and Pharmacy of Rabat, and I am the first negative speaker for today's debate. As the first negative speaker for today's debate, I'll do the following. First, I'll introduce the argument and convince you that free trade agreement has disadvantageous benefits towards the economic development of the Gambia. Second, I'll give you examples of how free trade could hurt the economic development of the Gambia and highlight potential benefit of fair trade instead of free trade. Thirdly, from there, my co-debaters will continue our arguments by discussing further the economic disadvantage of free trade agreements and summarize and leave you with no doubt that free trade agreement has so many economic disadvantage. Mr. Chairperson, today's debate topic has four keywords that needs to be really defined, which my co-debaters will to do. So looking at today's debate, we have four main words. First, we have free trade. Second, we have agreement. Third, we have beneficial partnership. And fourth, we have economic disadvantage. Oxford language define free trade as international trade left with its natural course without payment, tariff, quotas, or other restrictions. An agreement, on the other hand, is having two or more countries obey the same opinion, decisions, or rules. And beneficial partnership refers to the partnership among stakeholders based on the theme of mutuality or reciprocity. And lastly, economic disadvantage is a condition or situations that cause the economic of one country to be less successful compared to the other country or other counterpart. Therefore, today's debate is saying that it is beneficial for the Gambia to agree on obligations that affect trade in goods and service and protection of foreign investors, also meaning that having our beloved country to get into agreement that would enhance foreign countries to enter and compete into the market of our beloved country with zero or reduced tax and tariff, a topic that my co-debater and I wholeheartedly disagree with. Mr. Chairperson, the economic disadvantage of free trade agreement includes the following. First, less tax revenue. Second, trade to intellectual property. And third, unhealthy working condition. So speaking about less tax revenue, we all know that um, in the Gambia, taxation represents a significant backbone of the Gambia's economy, as it is a main source of funding for the government development projects. So getting into free trades would mean that foreign investors would no longer have to pay enough or sufficient tax to import goods in our country, as they will always look for ways to have reduced taxations when it comes to bringing their products in the Gambia. And this is really not good because Gambia is dependent on taxations for funding government national product. Second, this will present threat to intellectual property. When imported goods are traded in our country freely, producers from foreign countries can copy products or maybe produce generic products and sell them as a kick-off without fear of legal repercussions. A perfect example of this is the case of um, the cases of the dozens of children who have sadly lost their life to acute kidney injury that stem from imported um, paracetamol syrup that were imported in the Gambia, leading to the government of the Gambia to order all imported stakeholders and drugstores to suspend sales of all brands of paracetamol syrup for a very long period of time. This case, which make me so sad, makes a
Sorry,
lot of
Mama.
people so sad.
I'm sorry for stopping you, but the 5 minutes is up for the constructive speech.
Okay, thank you. And my co-debater will continue the argument.
Yeah, thank you so much. Back to you, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mahmoud. And now we will move with the second affirmative speaker from Badge World Cup, Ms. Esjaju.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Alexa, go to timekeeper, respected opponents, and audience.
Sorry, Miss Esjaji, for interrupting. You're not audible. It says breaking. Miss Jajo.
Hello?
Yes, it was breaking.
Mm,
Um, just to confirm, I think it's the same for everybody here. We are not hearing you, Fatmata, as Raju. Muhammad, can you guys confirm that? Were you guys hearing her? Yes. Maybe there's a problem with your connection, Fatmata, as Raju, because
Hearing.
you were breaking. We couldn't hear you. Um, but I guess for you, you can hear us, right?
Please confirm.
I think we can't hear you still. We cannot hear you still. How about you leave this session and come back again? Maybe perhaps that would be better. Um, guys, we are sorry for that. I think these are some of the unforeseen things we are, of the internet. We are online sessions. At times, internet could be a problem. So hopefully, she will join us shortly, and then we will continue the debates. Thank you. Yes, yeah, are you with us now?
Yeah.
Welcome back, Esjaju.
Thank
You
you.
can proceed.
Okay.
Sorry, we can't hear you. Hassan, I think she left again. She'll be back shortly. Guys, we are so sorry for that. Let's give her some time to come back. Miss Jajo, are you with us? Miss Jajo?
Um, yes. Guys, I don't know. Since SJG is having some internet issues, um, we want to propose this to all hands. We understand you guys are the I mean the you guys are going against batch World Cup in this topic. They should come first and then you guys come second. So, but if it is okay with you, you guys can go ahead. The second negative speaker can go ahead, and then this way we can buy some time for SJU to fix the internet. When she comes back, and she can also give her solutions. That's if that's okay with yeah. But it seems like SJU is here with us. SJU, can you hear us now? Can you confirm?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, this one is loud and clear. I think we can proceed now.
Okay, no problem.
Good.
So
Good to
this is
have you.
going to be a big issue. Can I start everything over since I wasn't on it at first?
Yes, sure, go ahead. You can
Okay.
start all over.
Alexandra Elder once said, and I quote, "The goal of a successful trader is to make the best trades. Money is secondary." Good morning, esteemed judges, accurate timekeeper, respected opponent audience. It is indeed a great honor to have qualified for this finals. Once again, I am Padmata Jaju, second year medical student at the Faculty of Medicine and Pharmacy in Fairs. I stand again as the second affirmative speaker for Badge World Cup, but this time fighting for a motion that advocates for the uncountable benefits a free trade agreement would bring to the Gambia. First of all, a brief explanation on the concept of FTA. A free trade agreement is a pact between two or more nations to reduce barriers to imports and exports amongst them. Under a free trade policy, goods and services can be bought and sold across international borders with little or no government tariffs, quotas, subsidies, or prohibitions to inhibit their exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia, as we all know, is one of the poorest and smallest countries in the world, with a land area of 11,295 kilometers square and an estimated increase in population of 2.5 million people right now. Our country can in no way provide most of our basic necessities. Hence, the importations of goods exceed that which is exported. Most of our country's revenue is generated from the Gambia Port Authority. Therefore, introducing a free trade agreement between countries we import from would most definitely benefit us more, as the government expenditure on imported goods would be largely cut, hence saving us millions of dollars. By cutting these allocated budgets, sectors such as health, knowledge, and the likes can be improved. Furthermore, agreeing to a free trade policy promotes political and diplomatic ties, thereby strengthening diplomatic relationships between countries, potentially leading to an increase in stability, security, expansion of our market access with the outside world by luring foreign investors. As a result of these political ties, our employment rate would skyrocket and in the end boost our economy. Also amongst the unlimited advantages of FTA is consumer benefits. Our citizens may enjoy lower prices and greater variety of goods due to increased competition and efficiency. This can cut down the high price of commodities. Example, rice, a staple food in the Gambia and one of the country's major imports. Finally, FTA would lead to the diversification of exports, which can help diversify the Gambian economy by encouraging the production of a wider range of goods and services for export, since the country's export is limited to groundnut, palm oil, and fish. My audience, the benefits of FTA to the Gambia are numerous, but due to time limited factors, I leave these captivating points to you, and why it's crucial to approach FTA with careful consideration of domestic and industrial concerns. Thank you all for your kind.
Thank you, Ms. Jaju, for that. And this brings us to the end of the constructive speech. Albert? Albert, your mic is muted.
Please come again. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
What do you say? I didn't get you.
I was saying this brings us to the end of the constructive speeches.
Okay, that's very good. And thank you once again for the participants.
Please,
It was really nice from hearing. It was really nice hearing from you people. And I hope the next session, that is the rebuttals, will go as usual. Thank you.
Albert, before you go ahead, so just sorry for cutting you. I just want to rectify. I think we have one more speaker for the constructive speeches. That is Ramatulai from All Hands.
Yes, sorry about that. So, Ramatullah, you can proceed.
Can you hear me? Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll, I think our co-debaters have failed to research the fact that us in the Gambia as a country, we already exist in a free trade agreement. And as what my co-debater said, where has that taken us so far? We still have a stagnant GDP, we still have inflation, we still have unemployment, and we are still uninnovative. Pardon my manners, Mr. Chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, honorable audience, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ramatulai Ann, a 6th-year medical student in Rawaba, and I am here today to argue the fact that a free trade agreement does more good than harm to our economy. Before starting, I would like to highlight two main disadvantages that a free trade brings to our market, which are unemployment and inequality. As we all know, the Gambia is a low-income country, as my co-debaters have stated, where majority of its people live below average. And in a free trade agreement, the market, in the market, we have mostly unemployment because the people investing in those markets invest only in things that benefit them as a people, because one of the main roots of a free trade is profit. The manufacturers have only their profit in heart and not the best interest of the people that they are working with. And since that's the case, our society will not be able, most of our society will not be able to work, such as the elders, children, and by children I mean anyone under the age of 18 is still considered a child, and people with skills that are not marketable to those manufacturers that are being provided into our economy. And since a free trade is not controlled by the government, the government has little to no say in the trade. We have all these issues, and if we have a common trade, which is what we are defending as a people, by against a free trade, the government gets to control what comes in the country and what's go out, and at what prices things are being sold. And Michael Davis have argued the fact that we will have variety and diversity. We can still have that variety and we can still have that diversity, but in a more controlled market where the government controls things that come out, the prices at which they are sold, and the president and media, so as the government has the best interest of its people at heart. And the other point that we have is the inequality in the market. One of the most robust trends in the last 3 decades of the 20th century has been a rise within countries in inequality of income and standard of living. The relationship between free trade income and inequality of developing countries has raised a considerable attention in the years. In a study published between 1990 and 2019, have mentioned an increase of inequality in developing countries such as the Gambia that has been directly linked to the presence of a free trade agreement in that country, because the number one priority of investors in a free trade market is profit. The manufacturers could care less about the interests of the people they are taking care from, which 9 times out of 10 they are catering to the high standard of living and rich people in a country. And in our case, the Gambia, which is less than 5% of the population. Now, in the population where majority of its people cannot afford the goods, the variety and the diversity that micro debaters are claiming that are brought into the market, what good will it have to our economy when only less than 10% of its population can afford that variety and that diversity that we have in the market? And because what free trade brings, its uneven effects in the labor market and changes in the consumer prices, one of the main effects of inequality in a country is actually economic instability, followed by financial crisis, debt, and inflation. Because most of the population we have, which is poor actually and live below the standard of living, cannot afford the variety and the diversity that is brought into the market in the name of free trade because the government has no say in what it brings. I would like to end my talk by saying we can still have variety, we can still have diversity in a command and control market in which the government controls the prices and what goods are brought into the country, since us as a government and as a people we have our best interests at heart. Without all the disadvantages a free trade comes with, which actually does more harm than good on us as a nation and on our economy at large. Thank you for your attention and time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, yes. It seems like Fatmata is not with us. Thank you so much for that presentation, and then that brings us to the end of the constructive speeches. So, Albert, I think you are taking over for the reviewers, right? Anything if you have any remarks to make before we proceed to the reviewers, please.
Thank you, Asan. I have no remarks for now.
Yeah, thank you, Albert. Guys, sorry for that. Yeah, it seems like Fatmata is having some connection issues, but she will join us as soon as she can. Yes. Albert, if you can take over from Fatmata, and then we can proceed with to the review task, then she will join us as soon as she can.
Okay, from after the constructive speech, then we will be moving to the rebuttals. And first of all, we will start from the first affirmative speaker, that is Mr. Asan Balek. You can go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for giving me the floor. Yeah, from what I understand from the from my first opponent who speaks, perhaps maybe he don't understand how the economic flows, and secondly, he don't understand maybe what are the impacts of free trades and the beneficiary partnerships in the economic growth, and he mentioned about unhealthy country conditions or healthy working conditions. Unhealthy working conditions have to rely on tax, and investors, when they came to a country, they have to pay tax, and those tax are added revenue in our country's GDP. And secondly, also, so he has just mentioned about the death of almost 66 plus maybe children in the Gambia. So those days, it is not something that is that can be very signified with the free trade aspect. When you invite investors, there are regulations that have to be taken. So the government of the Gambia, it is not the economic system, but it is the negligence of the government of the Gambia that led to the death of these people, these kids. Okay, when it comes to the fourth one is the profit gain. The profit gains in the free trades help employment. When investors came to Gambia, as we know right now, there are hundreds of youths in the Gambia that doesn't have job. But if we invite these investors, that can help the youths to involve in national development. As they are involved in the investments, this can help contribute an economic stability in our country's GDP. We all know a scale from 2021 to now, our GDP is stagnant. Why can we open our doors? Why can we go cross border and invite investors to come and invest. When they invest, so this can contribute to the growth of our economy. When it comes to employment aspect, even is the most part that's the prioritized because as the investor scheme, when employment is given, so which means so that is a plus point for the country because it helps youth to participate in national development, and when they participate, they
Sorry,
also
Hassan.
contribute to revenue gaining.
Sorry, Hassan. Sorry for stopping you there. Yes, but the 2 minutes for the rebuttal is
All
up.
right, thank you.
So, Albert, back to you. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hassan, for exhausting your time. And we move next to the first affirmative speaker, that is Mr. Muhammad Jas. You can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Albert, for that. With all due respect to my to the opposition team, I believe they didn't really understand the topic of the debate today, because we're talking about free trade. Free trade, it means that engaging in a trade with no tax, no tariff, or with a minimal tax and minimal tariff. So this is what we are talking, and minimal restriction as well. This is what we are talking about. And when I mentioned about unhealthy working condition, if the Gambia is to engage in free trade agreements, it means that they're going to attract more companies. And this company, when they come in, they come in with the notion that there is a limited restriction. So workers from the Gambia, there will be employers from the Gambia that will be working there might be forced to work in an unhealthy conditions. And also we having, a lot of companies in the Gambia, if there is a limited restrictions and there is a limited tariff, it might even promote the issue of pollutions, because this is a major issue that is affecting the global warming of the current state. Also, they talk about both of the opposition or both of the affirmative teams also talk about free trade would help to increase revenue. I think that is the quite opposite of it, because with free trade agreements we're going to have like less payments of tax, because investors, before they will come, they have to make sure they negotiate for the government of the Gambia to to limit or be to remove to reduce the tax that are being imposed on the imported good that will be coming. So with that, there would be limited tax payment. And at the end of the day, Gambia, we depend on tax to fund our national projects. So at the end of the day, we're not going to have the sufficient fund that we need to fund for our projects. So it's quite the opposite, and I believe they have to make a thorough research about it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. The time is even up. Yeah, but I, Mama just concluded. Yeah, Albert, back to you.
Thank you, Muhammad. You finished in time. That was great. And now we move to the second affirmative speaker, that is Madam Fatumata S. Jaji. You can please proceed.
Um, Good morning once again. My opponents raised points such as threats to local industries and markets, income inequality, dependency on foreign markets, resources depletion, and so on. But with careful protection mechanisms, vulnerable sectors such as these can be protected with policies to ensure that the benefits of economic growth and distribution are distributed equally across the society. Additionally, successful implementation and monitoring of the law, because proper management and observation will avoid all these disadvantages. And besides, the concern of every nation is the benefits of its citizens. I believe that most of the threats that my opponents are trying to bring onto the tables can be avoided with just simple laws to the countries that are importing into the Gambia. For example, having a free trade does not mean that there would be everything would be allowed. There can be sanctions on certain things with the drugs they are saying and all things. I don't think that's the response. That's an issue caused by the free trade. I think that's the negligence of our countries and the court department, because anything entering the country, even under a free trade agreement, should be monitored. The expiry date should be checked and everything. So that being raised, I don't think that's like an issue that has anything to do with our free trade. I think that's like a negligence on the port authorities of our country. Thank you.
Yes, Albert, you can. Yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Jaju. You also finished in time. And now we move to the last person, that is the second negative speaker, Madam Ramatullah Ann. You can please proceed.
Thank you. Micro debaters keep using the fact will, can, what free trade agreement will bring to the Gambia. I think they fail to research that the Gambia already exists in a free trade market. And all the things that they are saying a free trade will bring to our country are all the problems we are facing in the country because of free trade. We still have a stagnant GPA. Gambia has in a free trade, inflation, unemployment, and still uninnovative. We have still our poor. And micro debaters consumer benefit and low prices. Darling, the prices in the Gambia right now are ridiculously high because of free trade, because the government doesn't have control on those prices. So investors are free to put prices at whatever rate they want. And you will agree with me that that is the situation of the Gambia right now because of free trade. Why not try a change of heart and try a command market? Then we can see what that will bring us with the government controlling the prices. And as the government has the best interest of its people at heart, I'm sure they will put down prices to what most majority of its population can actually afford and help build its population. And like I said, your main argument is variety and diversity. We can still have variety and diversity in a command and controlled market. The government can still import goods that the Gambia lack, but with rules and regulations that are being put into place by them, with prices that are being controlled by the government, and the government making rules for themselves. And as Mama said, free trade, you people are still talking about inspection. Free trade gives maximum of freedom to the people that are coming in with the goods into that country and not the other way around. The government has little to no say on what or how the goods are being taken care of in its country, which we will agree is definitely at a disadvantage. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, Albert, you can go ahead.
Well, that's the end. And thank you all for the rebuttals. It was really amazing. And back to you, Assam.
Yes, thank you so much, Albert. Like you said, I think it is a very interesting session we have today, starting from the constructive speeches down to the rebuilders. All the participants or all the speakers have presented very well their topic and then defended very well as well their motions. And then I think now the work is on us as the judges to tabulate the scores based on the recordings that we have, and then come up and then let's see who will be the winner. But like we always say, um, it doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter who wins. At the end of the day, it is educational journey. It is an educational season for all of us. Hopefully, we all learn something here at some point, and then for me, it is a very great experience, and maybe I would love to do this again. Maybe not being a panel, but also being on the other sides, giving my thoughts and my ideas, just like you guys. I admire you guys a lot, and thank you for being here. So, Fatmata, you have anything to say? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Hassan and Albert, for that. And I would like to thank the participants for their efforts. A lot has been done. You have actually done your research well. And this has been a learning point for all of us. A lot has been actually learned from me and all of the audience. Thank you. And yes, this is the end of the session. We'll be right back to announce the results. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. If you guys have anything to do in the meantime, you guys can go ahead and do that. And then we will also go ahead and tabulate the results, and then we will get back to you as soon as we can. We will communicate to you. Yes. about the time we are done for you to join us. So thank you guys. Ablai, maybe we can go offline now.